Hello everyone, good evening. Gaurav will join shortly after 5 to 10 minutes, so kindly fill the feedback form of the 7 and 8 week. I will share in the team chat. Thank you. Hello everyone, please fill the feedback form. I only get 3 to 4 response till now. Thank you.
Hello everyone.
Hi Gaurav.
Everyone. Hi Nirsa. Everybody. Sorry guys. I kept you waiting. So I'm little out now. Just tell me if my connection is not good. Can you hear me clearly, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hi,
Okay.
Gaurav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Pius. Um. Yeah, I'll try to take this session up to 2 hours, maybe 1.5 to 2 hours, if everything goes well. So let's get started. Getting few questions about it that you cannot access the chat as well as resources there. Can you see right now if it is available to you? Maybe I'll try to fix it to those who cannot exactly access quizzes which are expired and other resources as well. Can you verify it, please? And just let me know if you can see the quizzes as well as the resources. I have enabled upcoming quizzes as well regarding
I,
TypeScript and yeah.
Yeah, I can see the quizzes. I did some of the quizzes today.
Yeah, same here, Gorak. Finally, yeah,
Oh, finally. Okay. Now you can access, right?
yeah. I did also. Yeah,
All right. So yeah, can everybody please let me share my screen. Possible, I'll try to log in. So just go to the portal. I think you all have access to it. You need to log in there with your credential, and then you will see the quizzes information on your dashboard. Okay, let me see. Okay. Yeah. Here, right here, you will see the quizzes which you need to do, right? The deadline is most of the quizzes, the deadline is I think more than 1 week. Um, Maybe you can do it this weekend or next weekend, right? And then submit it. Just go to the portal. Let me see. I mean, just go to this course. The bootcamp. This is the fourth one that we are conducting here. And yeah, there are some, these are the resources regarding JavaScript that I added previously. I think you can access those, right? You need to just open them. Some of them are opening on Replit. You know about Replit? Did I talk about it? Like Replit or Code Sandbox, something like that?
Yeah, we did with Replit few of the
Oh,
codes before.
yeah. Some of these are, I think most of these are in Replit. You can just open them, and there are some implementation actually done in Replit. You can hidden trial regarding these concepts. Like if you want to see something about a strict mode, then just open that particular repo, this particular page currently, and it has the link of Replit there. I think it is embedded. Otherwise, you'll have the link there. It is embedded here. You can just open it on Replit, and if you have your account, sign in. You can just log in with your GitHub account, right? And then um, what you can do is you can click on fork repo if you want to work on your own, or maybe you have this option to open the environment, right? So here are the resource for that strict mode. Like what is strict mode, why is it required? You'll just see the theoretical part first, and we'll do the practical implementation here. Like you'll just you can just edit this code right here. Okay, once you fork this to your one repo and run it and see the output. So similarly, all of the resources are attached there so that you can go, maybe you can copy this code in your VS Code as well and run it there. These are for JavaScript, practicing the concepts of JavaScript. If you have something like we have some words like wasting, maybe we talked about it previously. Wasting is like we can access something before declaring it. Right? Some of the deep concepts are there as well. Maybe something like, let's see, these are the basic concepts in JavaScript that we did. Um, okay, this is fine, I think. If there are something which is confusing, maybe you can ask me regarding JavaScript as well, because React is all about JavaScript. It is built up on the top of JavaScript, right? It's the library. So yeah, it's using everything from JavaScript. So um yeah, I was talking, I just want to talk about these things actually. These are the deep concepts. Just look at this thing. And down here you have these quizzes. Actually, I want to just talk about it. Yeah, you can attempt this quiz. Some of the quiz have the time limitation as well, I think, and some of them don't. So yeah, you can see if it is having some time limitation. Maybe you can attempt. Currently, I think you can attempt this quiz as many times as you need, as you want, but it will register the number of attempts you have made here on the portal. Okay. Currently, I'm seeing 11 of you have already submitted the quiz. I can see the response here and see your grading as well. Yeah, this is how we can know how you perform. So here I can see all the gradings. I can see most of you, most of you. Some of you are yeah, only one participant. Maybe this may have, this may be because of some pause, or maybe submit without save, something like that. And about 5 participants have received all the quizzes correct. Means they have received 95 to 100. This is out of 100 actually. Yeah. Yeah, just try it. Try to submit the quiz actually. Yeah. You can attempt and submit it. Okay. So yeah, similarly, there are some other resources right down there. The resources regarding TypeScript is also here. Like some of the things, I have just attached the link of the blog here so that you can click here, and some of them are helpful actually. That's why I have attached it here. And just learn about it sometimes if you have forgotten something about TypeScript. And this quiz is really important, TypeScript one. Just ask me if you need more time. Currently, you can submit it till 16 Jan. If you need more time, then just let me know. Later, we'll talk about this Redux thing. I have already enabled it. Maybe you can uh, look at it. Okay, look about Redux and Redux toolkit. Some of the information that will do. Okay, uh, just a second, guys.
Hi, Gaurav. I just logged into my portal and I do not seem to have access to quizzes or any of these resources. All I could see is the videos, like the class videos, and that's about it. Can I share my screen and show it to you?
Yeah, sure.
I logged into my portal and I clicked on the Frontend Developer Bootcamp 4, and this is what it looks like. I have some announcements, but other than that, it's all about the videos. Oh, are these things?
Yeah, these are the quizzes here. This is the assignment, and yeah, these are the quizzes. Or these are the first quizzes I added. You can scroll down, you'll see other as well, I think.
Okay, cool. And these are the resources that you were showing us. All right.
But they are all here in a single page, that's why you need
Mhm.
to scroll.
Cool.
Yeah,
So,
just scroll over. You missed one quiz, I think there. Yeah, there is a quiz for TypeScript. This one. Um, and the above one is for React.
okay, got it. Thank you.
Another quiz for React there as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. So, any question about accessing resources or submitting quizzes, something like that, guys? And I'm also considering your participation through GitHub as well. So as your achievement, like if you contribute or if you actively participate, if you create a branch, and if you send me some pull request, then I'm considering that as your what we call grade point. Maybe if we finally calculate the overall grade point that you receive from this bootcamp, then I'll take consider that one as well. That's why you can participate through GitHub, active coding through GitHub. So yeah, mm, create a branch, clone the repo, send some fix through PR. So you can participate in that way through GitHub. All right. Any question about that as well?
About GitHub, I think yesterday um, you could not push your latest code to main branch, right? Because I
Uh,
tried to clone it and it's still like there are no changes there. Or is there something wrong with? And then I checked the other style button that branch and it has the changes, not the main one. Or
okay. Let's see then. Maybe I haven't merged it to the main from the style one. Let me share here. Okay, okay, yesterday, yeah, maybe you are right. Yeah, we we have components added is there. Base URL fix is there in the main. Did we do something else as well? Let me go to that. That
In the
is button.
product.tsx, those were not there merged.
Oh, oh yeah, products.tsx, right? Yeah, I saw that as well, I think.
Yes.
What happens there? Yeah, yeah. I didn't get those code while I was switching the brands. Maybe I lost some code here, right here as well. You can see I don't have that code as well for products, right? So I asked you to fix if possible yourself, because there you can find the code in the other repo, right, where we are taking reference from. The style is there and GSX is there. Which files are missing? Products.tsx, and which other files are missing that you can see. Okay, let me just fix it, okay, from here. Right. Yeah, everything will be updated to main. Let's do it. We'll fix that right now. And okay, we will do something here today. Something means regarding card context. We only have card provider. We'll add some hooks here. And for product context, we have a hook already, which is serving the card provider means context. It is serving the context values from here. So we'll create similar hooks in our card context as well. That we will do. And maybe we'll look at something regarding testing, mostly called unit testing, and how unit testing is done in React, and which tools do we need, how to set up that tool, and what are the available tools. We'll also try to do that today, because if you see this final repo here, you will see a folder called um, this underscore test there. Let me go to my context right here. So this is the folder where we have test code for our application, means for these files, for the card context. So each and every folder is having those test folder. So it will test the components or the files, React components. We can test React components or our TypeScript file as well through this test. So if you go there, you'll see here it is testing this product context provider as well as use product hook. See, here is a test name in between, like the file name was product context provider.tsx, and the test file name is product context provider.test.tsx. Right, so we'll create test file in this way, and then we will use some tool. We'll pick one of them to actually conduct the testing part. All right, if you right now go there, you'll see how testing is done here, and you can see which tool is used here. Okay, so we will just become familiar with this part as well, because we need to include testing in this application, and we need to learn as a React developer, how to test our components, or you can simply say how to test our code in React. All right, testing code is a high level term. There are many approaches. Like there is something called end-to-end testing. There is something called manual testing, and most of the time there is one person called quality assurance engineer. There may be multiple persons as well who do these things like manual testing or automation testing or end-to-end testing. But we as a developer also do some test. We write this code. So usually quality assurance engineer do not write code to test. Most of the time they do not write code to test our application. Sometimes they can, but we as a developer will write this code in the test file, and we call it as a unit testing. We call it different type of testing, and we are essentially testing our files there. Our, you can say in React we are testing our components. Okay. So yeah, how many of you are familiar with testing actually? Have you written test case, or do you have some idea about testing code? Any code, maybe any other programming language as well. Have you done before? Or do you have some idea? Why do we need to test? Yeah, I think Avi here, right? Avi Bandari. Yeah,
Yes.
please, Avi.
So I've done like written test codes for Laravel back then, like 1 or 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've done some unit testing. So like it was for like some foreign work. So yeah. So the main goal of like unit testing, like in our project was to like test every like features, every like for that time, like we do have some routes, like we do API testing through like we go through like every function and like test every request, get, pull, post, everything. So yeah, I've used it back then.
Yeah. So what will happen if you test and if you do not test? Is there any benefit of testing you felt while you were doing?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So like the main goal, like what I found, like I we don't have to do like go through like Postman and everything to find out any bugs or error if we write like do some testing. So it's like more easier for us to like track like the response and everything, the error we can like possibly get. So yeah, it had been helpful for us.
You can then confidently say my application is working, right? My code is
Yeah,
working.
yes,
Absolutely.
like yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise, if somebody asks you, maybe your supervisor or your seniors or you yourself as well,
Mhm.
um, yeah, sometimes about your code, we are not that much confident. We can say it may work, but we cannot say that it is working 100% because we ourselves have some doubt when we do not test. That's why when we test, we are taking consideration of all the possible inputs that will come to the current situation, and it should provide the expected result to that possible inputs, right? So
Yes.
yeah, while you were testing, you mentioned about API as well.
Yeah.
You directly test the live API, existing API, or did you do
No.
some mock? Yeah.
No, so like what we did was like uh I created some like API functions. So and like the task I was given was to like test those the function that I have created. So yeah, we like back then we used to like create some factories for like fake dummy data, and like we used to assign it on by like factory, and like we used to get the response, and like we used to track like if the response like expected output is like for get request, like we count the number of result and is it in like JSON format or not, like something like that. And for like post, our code and the database code are matching or not, like something like that we used to do back then.
Is there some specific tool which was available at that time that you were using for
No, no,
testing?
no, no. Like it was like provided by default by the framework itself for unit
Okay.
testing. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Guys, any of you have done testing in JavaScript, like, or maybe other programming language as well? Um, and do you have some different experience? If you can share, that will be, yeah, good to have here in the bootcamp as well. Maybe we can incorporate your ideas as well. All right. So yeah. So then let's see some background about those things about testing, and I'll come back to the repo because we'll still work on this one. We'll fix something which was missing, as well as we will install some tools to incorporate testing, to write testing in our application, in this React TypeScript application. And we will try to write some test file as well. And later I'll come back here and I'll continue to the card that we were working on regarding the context. Actually, this one we will add some more features here, because currently we have the context, but we are not actively using those stats there. Okay, so a testing JavaScript application is actually little bit different than testing React components, we can say, or sometimes it may be similar as well. Because here, actually, while you are testing, what you need to consider is you will not look browser, because currently we are constantly running our code and doing console log in the browser, as well as seeing the response in the browser, right? But while you are testing, you need to take this important point in your in consideration, that you will not see your output directly in the browser. You will first assume the output. There are different approaches. We'll just go through them as well. Approach for testing, and you'll just you'll just first think about the expected output. And what we will do is we will use some tool, and then we will actually run it through the terminal. We can actually see the HTML output here on the terminal as well, like in code format. We cannot see the view, right? We'll see the real time. You can call it DOM, real DOM here, which is generating right now from the current existing component. You can see that DOM, and you can see whether it is working or not. And we will use some tool as well. What I'm trying to say is you'll install some tool, maybe that may be some external library which is provided to you to make your testing easier. Actually, you can do that without installing any tool as well. You can directly access your HTML elements through JavaScript APIs, or browser APIs, you can say. But that approach is we will not use that approach, because that will be too difficult to implement something which is already created, right? That's why we will use some tool to test our application which is already there. So let's see. Let me just go to testing React components. Oh, what happened? Testing React components. Okay, so yeah, if you want to read some blog, I think Medium and Free Code Camp will be the great resource for you. Let's see here. And Let me see here as well. And there is one guy which is I told you about him previously as well, like and CDOTs, and he's quite popular in this area as well, testing JavaScript application. You can just see sometimes his blog about uh, testing um, testing React, something like that. And uh, we will actually use the tool that I was talking about, which was created by him actually, and it is officially supported by Facebook as well. We have it in Create React app by default, but we don't have it in Vite. We will manually install it. But yeah, you can just go and just look at his blog sometimes, maybe if you are interested. But let's see how we can test our component in React. Let me just go through some blog here, some resource, so that I can clearly just point some most of the things. Yeah, so it is talking about some testing here, and here is the tool which it is using, and here is another tool which it is using, and here is another one. So these two tools are doing the same thing. I mean, we as a developer use this tool, and this one here is like testing your application from end to end. So there is something called end to end test as well. So, and we have like something like CI as well, continuous integration. So, okay. So let's quickly see about testing here. Uh, Actually, let's say that you have some function here, right? This is simply a function, some function, which will add and return, which will take two inputs and return the sum of the two inputs, right? It should do this job all the time, okay? And then you will just test such function, right? What you will say is you'll write some test case. These are the test cases here. So it is like you expect this function to be 4 all the time. If you have input 2 and 2, it should have the result 4 all the time. So yeah, we will pass different parameters from here ourselves, and we will expect the result actually if this, for example, 2 and 2 becomes 5, and then you are writing to be 4, then this test is failing. So it will fail your application actually. And test failing means you cannot deploy your application while talking about real world products when you are working. When your test is failing, you cannot actually send PR. When you create PR, your PR will fail in continuous integration pipeline while you push your code. Your test will fail at that time, and you cannot actually merge your code, or you cannot actually send the PR. So that's why you need to take this test part in consideration as well. Okay, so and yeah, there is another block for testing. We'll go through them. So we saw that here uh, two tools are popular. One is Enzyme and React Testing Library. So these are for unit testing, right? Those kind of testing that you saw there in underscore test underscore file. You saw that product context provider dot test dot tsx file, right? So inside that file, we will use either Enzyme. This was the most popular previously actually, but right now most of the products that I have seen in React are using this tool called React Testing Library. So it is for testing your components. You can call it unit testing as well. So what we will do is we will test our existing hooks, existing components, existing APIs if we have, by just installing this tool in our code. So what is the difference then? This enzyme is actually, these are actually the two different way of testing. So this is mostly focused on implementation. This is mostly focused on experience. So what is these two words? Let me see. Let me just provide you an example by just going this Google homepage. So enzyme is doing something like, if you search something here, it should actually, it should it will test if this source query or this source API is properly working or not. It will test that part first. But this React testing library, the main approach is actually, when you go to Google homepage, it will first test whether you can see the source bar itself or not. So these are two different approaches, right? If you cannot see this source bar, then you cannot type. So if that particular search API is working properly, and if you cannot see the source bar, then there is no any benefit, right? Benefit of that particular search API which was working properly. Because if you cannot send the search request here from here, then nothing will happen. That API will never be used. So these are two approaches. So that's why right now it is popular, because this is more about user experience, right? If you want to test your application, you should actually test the available components on the screen first, whether user can see those components or not. And then we need to test the API as well. API is working properly or not. But that is not the main consideration which will be taken first. We will first test whether we can first see something on the screen or not, whether that particular thing is available on the screen or not, whether user can access it or not. For example, if you want to log in and there is a sign in button and everything behind that button is working, every logic is working, and one part which is like this button is disabled, let's say, and user cannot click on this button, right? If user cannot click on this button, then uh, what's the meaning of those all the implementation, right? There's all the implementation will never be used if the user can never click on this button. So with this React testing library, what we will test is whether user can click here or not first. We will just test that part first. So the main thing that I'm trying to say here is, we will first test the user experience. We will first test something on the screen. So we will take aside that implementation part, and we will first consider the user experience part. So that's the difference. So previously, this tool was more popular. Currently, you can also see in some React project. You may see in Chime as well. And right now, this is the one which is more popular, React testing library. If you have noticed previously, when we did this the installation of this folder in basic React, we did it using create React app, right? We didn't do with Vite there. And if you expand this folder and if you go to package.json, here you'll see these three libraries are already installed. So three packages, you can say three dependencies are already installed. This is about testing actually. So it is actually React testing library. So it is officially supported by Create React App. That's why it is here. So when we directly install our application with Create React App, we'll see these three tools which are already there. So these are the dependencies, you can say, or you can say these are the library for testing, which we can use to test our React components and what we are also going to do. Okay, but we cannot be limited within some particular library. We can always explore some of the other available ones as well. I'm just talking about this because this is widely used in React world nowadays. But we are doing Vite means there is something called um, uh, Vite test, so which is just available by which is actually powered by Vite. So this is also there. You can see about it as well. This is also there to test your components as well. You can just see sometimes and find the difference. But what I'm trying to say is there are all alternate approach as well or alternate available tools to test your application, and you can do it without installing any tools as well. But that will be too complicated, and that will not be preferred by the developers. Developers prefer to use some tool to test your code, and we are using this React testing library. Okay, but there are some other alternate approach as well. So I want to make it as much practical as possible. That's why instead of just talking about the theoretical part, let's go and install this React testing library in our code, and we will try to use it. Okay. So, and later when we are doing, we will discuss about other things which are written here by just doing into our application. Okay, so yeah, this is the same similar block. You can just see sometimes to just have some understanding of testing. And you can just have a look at our code itself, how test is written there. But first, let's just install the React testing library in our existing code. Okay, so yeah, let me go through some instructions. Yeah, do you have some questions, guys? You want to ask me something before we install it? Okay then. So I just want to install React testing library with Vite. Maybe I can use this one from LinkedIn itself. Okay. So actually, Vite is the one which I'm using. This is a tool for developing our React application. This is an environment, you can also say, which is Create React App, which we used previously, right? I think I lost connection. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me here?
Yes. Yes. Got
Yeah, previously we were using Create React App. So Create React App was I told you there we already have this React testing library which is pre-installed, but Vite doesn't provide support for this React testing library. It is already not there. But we are going to set up React testing. Sorry, this React testing library, yeah, with Vite. In short, it is also called RTL. So there is something called V-test, but I think we don't want to use it right now. Let me see if this is appropriate for us. Mm, okay, so we don't have this one currently. Maybe we'll talk about it sometimes later. But right now, we just want to only install React testing library. There is something called Jest as well. It is used by React testing library itself. So yeah, there are this long syntax that I think this is, you just find some, maybe we can say with TypeScript project library. Yeah, we can just go to the official documentation itself instead of moving into the blog. Maybe you can see some instructions there. So let me go to yeah, setup part here, and okay, maybe installation. Yeah. So this is the one. We need three of them. Previously, when I just showed you here, one is called Justum, another one is called React testing library Justum, and actually it is the other testing library. It is React, and third one is user event. So we want support of React testing library for React, and we want support for of React testing library for Jest. We want support of React testing library for user events, like user will click sometimes, will scroll sometimes, and yeah, user will do some things on the screen. User will type sometimes, right? For those kind of events, we'll use this one. That's why we are using these three separate tools to test our application. Let me see. Um, it is only providing the first installation. Maybe I can go to some blog, I think. Yeah, let me go to this one, and let's try to install our this React testing library here. Okay, okay, yeah. Um, okay, I think I need to go to the resource that I shared to you previously. Maybe it will be better if we follow to that one. So let me just go through that one. So I'll just go to my repo and just search for RTL. I already have a resource for RTL here, right here. I was just expecting some quick blog, but I think it will be better if we go through here. So at the end, we have quiz here regarding React testing library, but I just want to go to the specific commits here, and that is setting of React testing library here. So this one, I'm not sure. There may be some more things regarding TypeScript as well. That's why I was searching about it, but let's see. So we need to install this one, testing library React. This is the first one, and we need to install the other one as well, so that I will move through these commits here. Let me share this URL to you, so you can just grab it and see it on your one as well. If possible, we'll try to write one test as well. Otherwise, we will just install it and continue to our application. So I showed you there we need three things, right? This is the first one. Let me install this one here. Let's go to our application. We need to move to React TypeScript, and now we will install it via an add and the name of the library that we are using. And I want to put this in dev dependencies, because testing will only be done while you are developing your code, right? It is not required while you are compiling your code. So that's why I want to put this in the dev dependencies. So let's go here. We have package.json. So we will put this testing library React in here in dev dependencies. Okay, you can just follow me and try to install this particular package. You can see now it is available here. So it is done. So
Hey, Gaurav, can you copy in the chat box, please?
yeah, sure. This command, right?
Yeah.
this one. Yeah, you need to use this one. And let me go to here. So from React testing library, we will use such kind of function, right? This is like render, and we have like a screen. We will use this thing from testing library React package. We need render and we need screen. So we will use virtual screen there, like virtual screen means we'll do it in terminal that I told you previously. And we'll use this render to render something like we render our application in the browser because we don't have browser here while we are testing. We will render it we using this render function. We'll render our component using this render function. If you want to see the output, then we'll use the screen there. That's why we have these two. Okay, and let me go to the other one, the other ones. Go to this one, waiting with RTL. Okay, so this is, yeah, now we need to actually install this one as well at the rate testing library justum. So why do we need this? We will use this justum to see something is actually what we are testing is there or not. For example, here you can see we are using screen from testing library React here, and we are seeing that in screen do we have something called some role of button. Essentially, we are seeing whether we have button there or not, and it should be disabled. That's why we are expecting it to be disabled. That's why we are checking for a button on the screen which is disabled. So if it is not disabled, then it will throw error. So test will not pass actually. So to do such kind of thing that you are seeing here, we need this library called testing library justum. So let me install this one as well. So let's go here. And let me add this one. We can do this using the same similar command and -d at the end. Okay. Yeah. Ask me something. Maybe you are talking somewhere. Yeah, that's fine. So let me send it to your chat as well. Where is that one? Yeah, here. We need to install this one as well. So yeah, I told you why we need that. We need that to test some logical part or to test something on the screen or not. Okay, we will test some logical if the expected result is similar or not to do some decision as well. We'll use this library called justum. Okay, this one is also done. Finally, we need the other one that is called like user event. So here, sometimes you want to see like you have some form, right? This is a React component. This is a sample React component. You can see here. It is called greeting form. This is a React component which is returning a form which is having two inputs, right? One input is actually yeah, one input is to type some text and another input is acting like a button there. So it means we have one input to type something and another input which is a button to submit your text. That's why we don't have access to the browser while we are testing, right? We will not do that in browser. That's why we will use another library here, another tool called user event to do these things. So what user event will do is user event will essentially type it for you. So you'll use user event.type to type something on the text box itself. Here you have a text box, right? So you are selecting this text box from. So this is a test file. This is a React component. So you are actually testing this React component with the help of this test file, test cases. So we are just first selecting your text box from the screen, and then you are typing on that text box. So you are essentially doing this type with the help of this user event library. That's why we need this one as well. So let's install it as well. That's why we need these three. So let me send to you. We need to write this command yarn add the name of the particular library. So I think, yeah, and then uh, -d at the end to make it dev dependency. You need to install it as well. Okay, let's go there and do it as well. Okay, so we have these three available. So one is Gestum, another one is React, another one is user event. All right, maybe we need to do some more setup here. I'll ignore it for now. If we can use it, maybe I'll try to use it right away. We will perform those setups slowly as well. So since we have these three already available, let me go to some component, maybe like a product component here. This is a product component, right? And let me see if I can test this component or not. So we have, what we assume here is we want to see if this component, if React can render this component or not. What I mean is if React can generate some view from this component or generate some HTML from this component or not. So to test this application, what we will do is you can create a folder as well, or you can just create a file here, just right here. The file name will be similar to the file name that you are trying to test, something like this. Maybe you can follow that lowercase convention if you want, like product, and then we'll write test in between, and extension will be similar. So this is TSX. Okay, you can see logo changes here. So this is the file where we write our test cases. Okay, so yeah, and then let me go here, and what I will do is import this script, this render from at the rate. We install this first package, right? Let me use this one. What we'll do is we'll import something from there. That is a screen. There is a screen already available, and from this at the rate testing library React, this one. Okay, we will import screen from testing library React. So okay, that's fine. I was assuming some type error, but that's fine. So now this is imported. Now how can we test this component that we have here? We will create a function for that one. So the function is already created. We just want to call it. We just want to call it only. So the function name is called test. You can see sometimes it is written it keyword here as well, it word here as well. Sometimes you'll see it. They are essentially same. You can use this function called test, which is already there to test your application. So test function is already there. You don't have to import it as well. You can just write test directly. This is a function which is available to test this component that we have here. So in this function, you'll pass two arguments, right? The first argument is just a description, and the second argument is a function, a callback function. Okay, so you'll pass a function here. This is the second argument. This is just a description. You can type anything here, like so I'm just typing something should test product. So it should test product. Now, this is the essential part actually. Now we will write our test logic inside this function actually, this function here that you just created or that you just pass as a second argument, right? Here we will use, let me use render instead of screen for now because I just want to see, or we just want to see whether it is renderable or not, whether React can render or our, in our case, whether our browser can actually display something from this component or not. We are just essentially trying to see that. So if nothing is there on the screen, then there is no meaning of testing other things, right? That was the example from Google homepage. If there is no search bar, if there is no button, then we will not test the rest of the part. We will first fix it and then we will test rest of the part. That's why we just want to see if everything is on this on the if everything is rendered or everything is on the screen or not. So we will use this function here, render, and here we will pass this component, this product component. Then we need to import, right? So let's import it. We want to import product from dot slash. You can just say dot slash here because this is directly located here. It's a relative path. So, and we will just render this component, or we will just write the component. The convention is similar to React. So how we render in React? We render our component in React just by writing our component in this way, right? Okay, and something is wrong here. This part, oh, this is not capital, this should be small. And this is done. We successfully created a first test case for this component. So we are essentially seeing whether it is renderable or not by using this function called render from React testing library. Okay, is this fine, everyone, until now? Yeah, if you are doing together, then it will be good. So you can just write this code and let me just verify if I can successfully test, but I haven't run this, right? So let's see how we can run this test. See, we don't have a script to test something, right? We have a script to run our application, to lint, check the lint part, to fix the lint errors, to format our application. We don't have any way to actually um, actually run the test, right? So we will write another script called test. And we will write the command to test. You can see previously we installed create react using it create react app. In package.json of create react app, you can see a test script is already there. It is already there, but in Vite we will do it ourselves, right? We are writing test, and then now we'll write react script test. So this command is needed here. Let me just see if it is working, then I'll send this command to you. Okay. So now how to run this test? We'll go to terminal, and from the terminal, we need to be inside the appropriate folder. Currently we are inside React TypeScript, right? So here what we will write is yarn. We'll just execute that command, right? This one, yarn test. Let me hit enter, and it will automatically find this file here, and actually test this component. It will just see the pattern because we have written dot test. It will automatically find this file and then test the appropriate or corresponding component attached to that test file. Let me hit enter. So what happened? No package.json or no license field. Am I in the correct one or not? Let me see. Oh, I did it. I think I did it in the correct one. Let me see. This one and package.json. All right, it's fine. But it's saying that let me do ls here. I have package.json. Let me do it once again. Yarn test, and it cannot do this. What happened? So let me close this terminal. I'll open it once again. Let me go to React TypeScript, and it's fine. Now let me write yarn test. Okay. Oh yeah, I cannot write this one because I don't have this React script installed with Vite. So I need to actually write something different here. This will be not supported in Vite project because with Create React app, we already have something called React script dependency installed here. That's why we can write React script here. But in the project, in Vite project, we cannot do that. Okay, that's why I was looking for that one. For Vite, let me see how we can actually create um, that script with Vite. Let's quickly see this one. This is like React testing library with Vite. Here we have test as well. Um, okay, it's talking about test. Maybe we need to install that one. Yeah, actually, I haven't set up this React testing library here with Vite. Either I used test only or React testing library with Create React app previously. That's why let me see. Okay. Yeah, I think we need that one. And let me quickly see another one. Maybe I can find some quick support. I think I need to do it with that V test there. That's fine. Okay, no worries. We will do it with V test then here. So what we already did is we already installed this one, right? Testing library React. We haven't installed this one, JSDOM. And okay, it is only down here. So it has tested it. It is running it. Okay, now I need to actually install one more. Initialize React using Vite. That's fine. Okay, we'll install this one as well. Vtest. I think it is required here to run our test in Vite. So let's install this one. This another package called Vtest, especially for Vite actually. For create React app, will not do that. So let me run this one. Install this one as well. So yarn add Vtest as a developer dependency. Now it is using installing a lot of other packages here. All right, we have it here. Yeah, we need to set up something called v.config.js file there. It's already there, but we need to add some more settings in that file. This one here. So in there, we need to have these settings like for test. We need to have this for test. So then here you can see environment is JS term. So JS term means it is like we just want to get the JavaScript DOM, the DOM functionality essentially. Essentially, DOM functionalities are only available in the browser, but we want to access it in the terminal. That's why this package will help you for that one. That's why let me install this one as well. Essentially, we are installing 5 currently, but we will only use this one to test the testing library React one. But let me just install that one as well. Okay, so this is also done here. Okay, finally, I just want to update our Vite configuration file where I will add this setting. So after plugin React, we need to add um, this this part as well. Okay, so I missed something. Okay, this is what we need, and then we will add some script there. We will use vtest. Previously with create React app, we are using React script here, right? Now we will use vtest. So let's go there, and in our vite config.js right here. So we need to add this for test cases. So something is wrong there. Happen actually. It doesn't exist. Okay. Okay. We need to do some more thing there. Let me see. We have define config and plugin, and we don't have this setup file as well. So we are referencing to the setup file, but we don't have that here. Maybe we can create it, but I think, let me see if we have something which is not working there. It cannot recognize this test here. Okay. Maybe the file reference is slightly different as well. And we need to provide this on the top as well, I think. But let me see if we can do this in other way. I just want to make this simpler. Let's not do more the same setup. We will not actually install other things or add other files if possible. So what happened here? I think this is a video instruction. Yeah. Yeah. With retest and okay, environment GSM. I think we need this one there. Um, inside vtest, we only need this one. I think this will work. But let me see here. Yeah, let me just have that one only for now. Maybe later we will expand it, but just want to add test here. Maybe it will not be recognized again because it was complaining me previously. So this is because of that type error, I think. Uh, so this is because of we have TypeScript setup. It will work on JavaScript setup. We have TypeScript setup. I think it is not working here. Let me quickly try to find the issue here. Solution, and I think we need to do this on the top here. So yeah, because of TypeScript, it is not able to access the TypeScript interface setup. If you just do this / command, then it will work. Let's try on the top. Let me go on the top. Let's use this. Still not working. Let me see if VS Code can resolve. Okay, still not able to get that TypeScript support. So okay, now it is using some interface here itself. Right here, I think define config. Yeah, we will just leave there if it is still continues to not working. And we'll continue sometimes later. Let me finally try to resolve this issue. Otherwise, we'll just leave there and move ahead. Okay. So, oh, I think we are doing in the different file. Are we? Let me see. We need to do it on which instruction we are following. This one, right? Previously, vite config. Essentially, it is doing in vite config, but now it says it is saying like previously. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it is separating these two files. Concern is different. This is for vtest and this is for vite itself. So vite is running here. It is fine. Vtest. I don't know this will work because to still create that test is unknown. Okay, I'll leave it here because currently what is happening here is we need this script. Okay, better to, I mean, this one has to do. Essentially, instead of spending our time there, let's discuss and we'll just fix it eventually. So essentially what we are trying to do is we are trying to get a script here to run our test. The test setup is there. We have existing tools to run our test. Here we have just DOM. Here we have React. Here we have user event. But we want one script to run our test. So we will do it using some, we will eventually do it. We'll just write some, the same script. The script is actually, let me see here. In our test, we'll write this script vtest, but in order to make it workable, we need to set up that file that we will do. Okay, currently I'm just commenting this one and making this at to do. This is not working, I think, in package.json. Okay, you can just try completing this part. Maybe you can just try adding some script here, and we are left to test this one. This is not running. We have written a test, but we don't have a script here, and we don't have the configuration which is properly done here. First, we want to complete this. Then we want to add a script here, and then we will go in our terminal, and then we'll write the command called yarn test. Then it will work. All right. For now, I want to just leave it here as a to do, and we will complete this one as well. Okay, because I think it requires some configuration that we will do. Yeah, do you have some questions for me, or do you have some suggestions as well? Maybe you got the answer as well. And did you understand why we need test and what we are trying to do here? I'm just trying to make this practical so that you can see what we are doing here. So we are left to do this one. This is incomplete right now. That's why I'm leaving here. Okay, it requires some proper research there, I think, and then we will incorporate here. This is not a big deal. I think you can just look at the look and update this configuration file and come here, update this script and go in your terminal and run your test. Right? Then that we will do. Yeah. Any question, guys? Okay, then let's go to the remaining part as well. So this is a part that I just want you to spend in the weekend as well regarding test cases. Yeah, this will be good if you try yourself as well. Instead of I'm creating the solution directly here, maybe you can continue from here because we have something which is already set up and something you can try on your one. And I think this is how we can learn. Maybe you can ask some more questions to me as well, and then we will do the test part. So let me quickly go to the remaining portion here as well, the context one, because we want to have some more hooks here, or not here, in the context actually, in here. Let me just try to do that part as well. Then I'll in this session here, and then we are left with testing. We will continue to testing journey in the upcoming session, as well as adding features in the components here. So we will add feature and we will test it right away. So we will add feature here and we will test this component. So we will do those things together. So we'll test and write code and test it together so that we can say that our application is properly working. Okay, then let me commit at this point. This is setting test environment actually, but this is still on progress. The work is in progress. That's why we will actually uh, continue this one. So yeah, I'll take few more minutes, guys, and then I'll end this session there. Maybe 15 or 20 more minutes. Let's add some hooks here, and then we can end this session. Yeah, do you want to ask me something? Like maybe you can ask me some questions here if you have something in your mind. Maybe if you have some doubts or something like that, or I think if I put some resource on the portal regarding the setup, that will also help, right? To continue the setup. Okay, so
Yes.
do one thing. So after this session, not today, I think maybe tomorrow, I will just do this to hidden trial here to see what is the error there, and then I'll give you some instruction to do it on your one. So then you can follow those instructions to complete this test part. and run this first test. You don't have to write test there. We have already written the simple one. You can just your person is complete the test configuration and then run this test. And that's if you and I'll provide you instructions, and if you follow those instructions, then it should work. Okay, I'll put that in bootcamp portal. Maybe you can look at there tomorrow at some time, and we'll just update it, and then you can complete it.
Correct. Why
Okay.
did we how did we run into this situation though? Because previously, if we were installing new packages, we would go to npm package or like or yarn.pkg, and then like we'll install the packages, and the scripts would automatically be added to package.json. Like there were no such situations where we had to like add our own script, right? This is the first time that we are not seeing the test and like the script to run the test. And like would there ever rise a situation like this where we have to like manually add the script by ourselves?
Yeah, that's nice question. Actually, most of the time you will not increase these scripts here. So situations like when you work on your own, when you are expanding your application, when you are building application from start, then we feel like you can just directly type this command on your terminal. It will work as well. But we feel like we are constantly doing it, like we are constantly starting our development site, right? You can directly write vite there. You can just write yarn vite. So for example, let me go here. Like when I just want to run this application, currently I write yarn dev, and you can see vite script was running there. But if you have this vite already here, currently we have not set up this in our system. That's why it is not recognizing it. You can directly type this one, this command. But some commands are really large to type, like from here to here, because we are constantly using this package to do something in our code, right? To do something means this one is to start development server, this one is to check linting, so this one is formatting, and this one is actually testing something. And to test our code, only single package was is not there. There are multiple packages involved, right? So together with this React testing library, currently we are using this one. Together with this one, we are actually using the help of vtest to use this package. So multiple packages are interacting together. That's why we need to link them, right? We need to link them. Hey vtest, just help me to run this test. I'm using React testing library, and you need to help me to run my test. That's why we need to tell this one, this vtest. And how can we tell? This v.config.ts is actually the configuration file. You can say setting for vite. So this is the setting for vite, and we'll go there in that setting, and we will add something to let vite aware about what we are doing there. Okay, and then we will actually update our script here, right here, because when you want to run something in the terminal with the command yarn, if you want to write something, yarn something means this something should be here. Otherwise, we cannot write it. So this should come from script. So previously, when we are installing packages, like for example, when we install packages like ESLint, or when we install packages like Axios, we didn't write yarn Axios, right? To run Axios. We don't write something like this to run something on our code. This is the dependency which will directly import in our code. We will import this dependency, and it will communicate through our import, and it will use that import, that particular code from that Axios. But will not run it from here. So if you want to run this from your terminal as well, then at that time you will need to set up these scripts. So whenever you want to run something with this command called yarn, yarn something, then you need to have a script here. All right? Is that fine?
Yes, Gaurav. But how would we know that to run the lint script, the script would be lint src like asterisk asterisk slash asterisk. Was there any sort of like documentation where it mentions that for linting you'd be running this script, and for like formatting you'd be running this script, which is prettier. That's right. Um, so we need to have some source of truth, like where it is mentioned, like where the whole script is, the actual script is mentioned, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah. So yeah, this should be there in the official ESLint page, official page of Prettier, official page for Wheat. These all script will be there, otherwise we'll not know, right?
Mhm.
This will be there. So like if you go to let me just see, we started from Wheat, right? If you just go to Wheat, and I am taking help of third party. These are just taking the help of the official documentation. They are just refactoring something from there. So these are the such third-party blocks which are, it will be easy to follow them. That's why I'm just taking their help. But eventually, the truth is coming from here, the official guide, right? So when we get started, it is saying what you want to install, whether you want to install with yarn or npm or something like that, and how can you run it. It is providing you all the documentation here. Either you write npm run dev, or we can write yarn dev as well. So if you use yarn, and here you can see the script. So this is the script you need to have, otherwise it will not work. So if you do not write build there, it will not start your development server. So for there is like build script we can also write. So for build script we need to write wheat build. For preview we need to write wheat preview. So essentially, when you use any package like ESLint, it will officially provide you the support for the script that you need. Otherwise, we'll never know, right? We cannot know what we need to do, because these are something we just install in our system. We need to go to their official page and we need to see how to use them, how to install them, and how to create a script.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
So Gaurav,
And
seems like the problem that we are having right now is just as you mentioned, we have installed three dependencies to test, to run the test, which is like React testing and just DOM, and then like the like one more thing that we just installed, and we are just not sure like what is this one script to run all three of them.
um, yeah, those three are the dependencies. We actually need the help of this one. Actually, this is the actually testing framework, you can say.
Oh,
This will provide you the support for that script,
okay.
this test. So we need to start from here. We need to go to the official page here. How we installed it, we already did it, right? Using yarn add command. And it is now providing you this one. We wrote this one, and this is where we have the problem, right? Writing this test. Here, this is where we're stuck. And it is providing you what is the script you need. Okay. Since we have those others as well, those are just the helper functions, you can say, helper tools. But this is the one, vtest is the one which is actually providing you the support for the script. What is the script you want to write? Script is here, and you need to run this vtest in your terminal. You will write simply yarn test, and it will just run this one. Okay, later we'll write coverage as well, and now it is providing you the command for coverage. Otherwise, we'll not know what is the command, right?
Mhm.
And this is here in our code. Um, we were setting up our that um, maybe here, right? In our Vite config. bit config. This is the problem we have. We are writing test. Actually, this is because of TypeScript. We're writing test and it is not recognized. It is a type error actually, not error from vtest itself. Okay, because we have TypeScript set up. That is what we need to fix.
Yep, gotcha. Thank you.
Just have a look at this vtest guide and have a look at find some possible answers from Stack Overflow. Is also the reliable source you can trust as well. And other one is the official guide. These are the two resource, mostly official guide, which you can trust. And later you'll actually invent some popular resources, blogs like Medium or FreeCodeCamp, and there also you will have the genuine resources as well. Yeah, you need to select and just find the resource that you need. Okay. Yeah, guys, please ask me such questions so that we can discuss sometimes. Maybe I'm missing some part sometimes while I'm just guiding you here. So I'm doing something and you are thinking something else. That's at that time immediately ask me, okay? Maybe you can discuss and fix it out. All right, so any other questions? Yeah. And yeah, you know, right, what you need to do. You need to fix this one. You need to go to Vite documentation or just go to some blogs and just see. Maybe you can take the resource from video tutorials as well. Um, it will be better if you do it yourself first. Then we can do it together. Okay, so let's go to this part. Actually, I was talking about the context. So we need to add some more hooks here. So why do we need hooks actually? And that may be your other question as well. Similar to this one, use product. What is this doing actually? This is just accepting something from the context so that you don't have to write that context again and again. Now, it is simply expecting these things. These things means these are given from here. So we are just importing this here. And we will do something in between, some process will be done in between. Maybe some sanitization, some API call, something like that will be done in between. And later we will send the final result. We will send, these are like, you can say these are like empty boxes and we will fill them up here and we will send the filled boxes here. So something like that. Okay. So these are the states actually. We will update these states and we will send these states from here. And later, in any React component, if you need, you can just go to that React component and call that hook that we created here from here. Okay, so this is providing life to the state that we have in the context, you can say as well. Okay, in the card context as well, we have various states here. Maybe we can increase in future if we need. And to control to control these states, to change the value or to access this state more easily, we will actually use hook. Okay, these are like custom hooks. There are some inbuilt hooks in React as well, right? Like use state hook, which will provide you the functionality to update this state and re-render your component, right? Okay, so maybe you can make hook depending upon your need as well. For example, in our React card application, maybe to process order, maybe you have payment option there. So you want to process your payment. So process credit card or process PayPal, you can have different hooks for that one as well. For example, in the card section, you have the quantity and the total on the bottom as well, right? You want to control that cart total. So product number displayed there. So total product, total price, everything there. So for that, you can just create one hook like uh, hook name will start from use, and you can have any name, right? Use total, something like that. So I'm writing TS here because in hook we will not write JSX syntax. We'll only write JavaScript or TypeScript syntax. Okay, hook is nothing but just a function, right? So if you know how to write function, you can write hook as well. This is a function. This is a function, and we'll return something from here. And then we will export it. And this is not our hook, is still not our hook. You cannot say this or React hook. Yeah, we only having use keyword will not make this hook. You need to have some state which are there inside hook as well. Reactive state, you can say the state which are coming from React use state hook. So these states are coming from cart context provider here. So in cart context provider, you can see this total state. Total state is created with this use state hook, right? That's why you can use it. Yeah. Just a second, guys. I'm muting here. Yeah, sorry about that. So let's use this state here. In this hook. So how can I take this one from this hook? How can I access this state which is sent from context to this hook here? Use total hook. Any idea, guys? In here, maybe I can have that total here somewhere. Can I access it here from the context? Essentially, I want to import something from the context. I want to have one value from the context. Then what should we do?
We need to use that context.
Yeah, you use that context. Okay, let's go to that context then first. This is the context. So what we should use? Should we use card provider? Actually, you have this called use card context here. This is another hook which we created there as well. So what this is doing is, this is essentially providing you the context itself, right? Here is the context. And this is nothing but the card context here. Context is here in this use card context hook. Otherwise, if it is not there, you need to use context hook from React and pass the name of the card, sorry, context there. Now, since we have the hook, which is already there, and this hook is essentially providing you the context itself. Context is here coming from this hook. Then you can just use this hook. Call this hook, you'll get the context. Are you getting me? So you need to just call that use card context, this one. You need to import it. Then from this use card context, what are you getting? You are just getting a context. So what is this context actually? What is it having? Context. Let's go here. Can you see? Can you just guess what will this context contain? This context. When you do use context hook and write the context name, you will get the whole context. Means what is this actually? Isn't it the value of the context?
Yes.
Right? Right. Using use context hook, when you pass a context, then you will get the value which is supplied from that context, which is given from that context, and that value is here. This value, right? This is the whole value. This is what you will get in the context here. This is there in the context. It means when you write use context hook and the name of the context you want to use, you will get the value provided from that context. This context means this card context. Where is the provider for that context? Here. And where is the value for that context? Here. Means now you will get the context is equals to this value here. So the context is containing is of this value means this is an object, right? This is an object. An object is containing is open, set is open, product, set products, total, all of them. Means you can use any of them here. So you can just destructure and just write total. Can I do this?
Yes.
Yes.
Because we are getting that object, we can directly destructure it. Since this is the use total hook, we can get that set total here as well. If it is provided from there. Yeah, set total is also there. Because if you see here, set total and total are provided from the context, you can use it here. See how this hook is helping you. If you don't have this hook, then what you need to do? You need to do use uh you need to first import use context hook, right? And then you need to pass a card context here. You need to also import card context here. Oh, not card context. Sorry. Card. Is it card context? What is the name of that context there we have? We haven't actually exported it. That's why it is the problem. You need to export it as well. You have extra things that we are doing without that hook. And we need to do this. Now we can export this card context here. Card context. We are essentially exporting these two things, use context hook and use card context. Sorry, card context. Whenever we want to use the context, whenever we want to use the card context, not here only. We'll do it all the time when we need it. If you are actually using this card context in 10 more files, 10 more components, then you will essentially do the same thing. Import the context, import the card, write this command. Instead, let's make a function which will do this job, which will import the card, import the use context, pass this context and provide you the value. And this is done by that hook, actually. That's the job of hook. So hook is actually a function, right? This is the hook which is doing that for you. So it is using that use context, card context, now providing you a context. We don't need to export it now. Now we can directly use that hook. That hook is providing you the context that you want. Yeah, does this make sense, guys? Okay, so from here, I just want you to do something. So finally, we will return some appropriate part. Maybe maybe we want to update this total with the help of set total here. And later we will return that total here. Let's say total in object. We are returning it in object here. Maybe you can directly return it as well. Now in between you need to do something. You need to write some functions because that's why we are using hook there, right? So you need to create some functions like, let's say one function is to add total price of the of the card. You'll create one function here which will actually calculate the total price and update this total. Means total is once again object. It is having price information there. So you can make this total object from here as well. So total, where is total? Total is here. So iCard total is here. What is iCard total? Let's go there and see total is an object here already. And we are updating this total price from there. Right? We are creating one function which will do that job for us. So you can also update the card quantity as well, product quantity. So you can create another hook for that. For example, let's say uh, total quantity. Essentially, you can also do this using single function as well. Okay, you don't have to create multiple functions to do the same job if you want, if you can do it using the single function. So essentially, you need to create a function here, whether one or two functions, which will update this total, and finally you will return total from here. So now this use total hook will update this value from the context. That's the job of use total hook there. All right. This is how we create multiple hooks, which will manipulate the context value. So in context, we saw that we created multiple components, right? One is for that footer. That part is done by use total now. Maybe you have some products inside context as well. You want to update that products, you want to change that product, then let's create another hook. Use product in context because we have used product there as well. That's why let's say use product card dot ts, another hook. We'll do the same thing. Let me copy this one, paste it here. We will once again import use card context. Now here we want products from the context because we want to update the products in the context, right? And we want set product as well, set products. And finally, when we return from this hook, we will send the updated products. All right. In between, you can create multiple functions like a function to add product in the cart, a function to remove product from the cart, something like that. In between, we'll create these multiple functions. Okay. If you want incrementer or decrementer as well, you can create those two functions. Like you can click on that plus sign to increase the number of quantity, minus sign to decrease the number of quantity, right? You can do those as well here. And then finally, we'll send it from here. We'll send other values if they are like you can send add product, remove product from here as well if you have created those functions. Okay, so yeah, in this is how we use hook in React, custom hooks. All right, guys. So I think that's all I want to do today. So there is something because I want you to create PR. That's why I'm making you these to do things. So if you have something in this code, you can work on this code base, right? Because you have the solution itself there as well. Maybe first try to do it on your own, and maybe you can look at the solution and then submit through the PR and this one as well. Maybe you can correct the test case as well, right? We have something to be done here as well. So I am expecting some participation from you guys. So if you do not create any PR or send me solution as well, we will eventually complete it in the next session. But until then, maybe if possible, just try to fix something. It shouldn't be perfect, right? You can do whatever you want here. Essentially, do it on your own, what I mean. Then you can send me a PR. When you send me PR, then I think that is the way where you actually really learn something. For example, if you create PR, then I'll review your code and I'll just comment on your code on the line where you write the code. Okay, you need to do this in this way. Otherwise, if you are correcting me, that's the solution that we need. Maybe we can incorporate your solution in our code. So sometimes I can give you, I can accept your PR, or sometimes I can provide you some review to your PR. So that's why just try to create your solution and push this solution to the current repo. Pushing current repo means creating a PR. Okay, everyone. So these two parts, what you need to do. Today we were not able to consume this part because we haven't done this part. So we will consume. And the next session is about all about testing. We will completely write test to our for our components and all about filling features in our components, existing components, filling features here. So make it workable, make this card workable, make this product workable. Okay, here is one file which is missing. Products, you can add it as well in the products folder and continue from there. Okay, let me send this to GitHub. So this is like custom books workout context. All right, everyone. So shall we in this session, or do you want to discuss for a few minutes? Maybe we can discuss as well. Yeah, if you ask me some questions, maybe we can interact. Maybe someone else may have better answer than mine. That's why. Please ask me if you have something. Otherwise, we will stop our session here and we'll meet and continue next day. Yeah, I'll wait here for a few seconds, maybe 1 minute, and then if you do not participate, then we'll leave this session. All right? Just ask me if you have some questions. I'm just here. And how is your progress going on, guys? How are you feeling about the bootcamp that we are conducting? Maybe you may feel like you are behind what we are doing currently. You may feel like you want to practice more.
Yeah, everything is really great. I personally couldn't attend like 3 or 4 classes like during the holiday week, the weekends, like right before the new year. So like, I personally feel like I'm lagging a little bit because I missed like a lot of classes. But since like tomorrow is the weekend and would not be having classes like for 2 days, I'm planning to like revisit the recordings to cover them up.
Yeah, thanks, Sahaj, right?
Yes,
Um,
sir.
you are also working, right, somewhere as a developer,
Yes, sir.
React developer?
I'm working as well. But like my work is like the full stack, and we also use React, and like we also use Perl and like Backbone JSS and all those stuff. And like I was actually not enjoying that work, and like I'm looking for like the React job because like it's more modern and contemporary, and it's more fun than working on the Perl. So like I was like super into learning React, but like especially past week, like I personally have been traveling, and I like had to receive like a few of the guests, so I honestly couldn't attend like almost like 4 classes of last week. So like it's just been hard to to follow these days because like I've missed a huge chunk of classes like previously.
Yeah, I think you can grab fast because most of the time I'm spending the time in basic things and the implementation of that basic things. So yeah, maybe just ask me if you have some problem there. So I believe that if you can implement something from its base, the complexity part will eventually fade away there because base and base are merged together to make complex system, right? So yeah, for most of the time when we are in rush, when we want to deliver something quickly, or when we are working somewhere, I feel that myself as well. We don't care about the basic things. We just want to implement there right away, find the solution for that particular situation, deliver it in time. At that time, whether we, it's fine if we miss basic at that time, but it will be better if we revisit later so that if that problem occurs next time, then we can confidently deliver the solution. Yeah. And yeah, I think yeah, there are other popular front-end resources which are always this tech field is always updating, right? Let me share you some resources that I know. Just you can just participate here. Like Stack Overflow does survey. We saw that this previously, I think, when we started our session. Maybe our first session was about this survey. So um, they conducted survey each and every time. I mean, each and every year they have conducted this survey in 2022 as well. And there is a field about technology, and here you can see which are the most popular technologies, which are the most loved technologies. Yeah, you can just go and see sometimes like the most popular one currently is JavaScript that we are doing, and we have like down below here. Um, Maybe we have some framework, and the most popular framework is on the backend Node.js, on the frontend React.js. These are the most popular. And these both are based on JavaScript itself. If you know JavaScript only, you can do both of them, frontend and backend together. So maybe you can start from frontend and go to backend as well. But it has other sections as well. Like we have like these are popular. Popular means widely used among most of the developers around the world. We have most loved as well, like most wanted. So this may be sometimes you want to look at those things because they are upcoming tech stack. Maybe they will come and become popular later. So these are like there we have you can see some programming language. Maybe if you have time, sometimes you can just try go there. And these are mostly, you can see here TypeScript is all the way down, JavaScript is here actually. So the most wanted are this stack. Yeah, if you don't know that, don't matter, maybe you can just look at them sometimes. And maybe you can see somewhere here all the way down we have web frameworks. This is interesting. React.js is all the way down here, so it is popular, but most of the recent developers, they want something like something called phonics here, they want something called svelte, they want something called this deno here. So you can see what are they. We'll not discuss it about everything about them right now. I don't know about most of them as well, but currently I'm working on this one, svelte one. So we are here actually, React.js. So we will do this one as well, Next.js in this bootcamp. Next.js is related to React.js. It is a framework of React.js actually. But sometimes you can, if you what I'm trying to say here is, if you know React.js or if you know JavaScript, then if other frameworks or tech are dependent on the JavaScript, then it will be really easy to move there because JavaScript, Node.js is based on JavaScript. You will easily understand it. Vue.js is made on JavaScript. You will easily understand it. So Svelte is made on the top of JavaScript. It will be easy to go and understand it there. So if you can master the concepts in one stack, then you don't need to worry about the other stack. I think the pattern is same, or just the difference in the language, right? Other things are same. The way of solving problem is same. Approaching problem is same. Way of writing clean code is same. Just the difference is those syntax, right? Sometimes you need to write different syntax there to solve the same problem. So yeah, this is what you can sometimes see. And yeah, sometimes try to be synchronized with the current stack as well, which are upcoming and becoming popular.
And Gorak, let's say you're trying to learn something like really new. Let's say you never knew TypeScript, like let's say you never knew JavaScript, and you're trying to learn it from scratch. How would you like approach the learning procedure? Would you rely on the official documentation that the JavaScript team has put forward and like go through the documentation, or like is there any other way that you prefer, like that you've been practicing to learn new? new technologies.
Yeah. So yeah, to learn new tech stack, depending upon what I have learned or what I know until now, I think it depends upon two things: whether you are a beginner or whether you have some experience. So if you are a beginner, then you need to spend, I think, most time there, most of the time. But if you have some experience, you will spend less time to learn less the new stack. So because because when you have some experience, you will think like, why do I need to learn TypeScript? What problem is it solving for me? Because I have other tech stack, other things as well. What is the main goal of TypeScript? What is the main purpose of TypeScript? We'll think in this way when we have some experience. And uh, because I'm creating some
My
application
mentor,
already.
I'm sorry, Guru. I just wanted to interrupt because my mentor in my work, like he has been mentoring me for like 6 months, and he speaks the exact same words as you did. Like, what problem is it solving, and why we are using it.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll tell you what I will do as well. But yeah, we need to be practical, right? Because why we are thinking in that way is, if we know the purpose, then we'll try to build something. So for example, oh, I just found that TypeScript is adding type feature in JavaScript. So let me build a simple JavaScript application that will use TypeScript to add that type feature. So actually, my way of implementing something or learning something is as well to build something right away using that current stack, instead of learning all the things from s- uh, simple to advanced. I mean basic to advanced. You can see some books or some tutorials where you can learn something from basic scratch, from zero to hero, something like that. But I think instead of learning everything, if you can just apply that particular current stack to build some application right away, you learn most of the things. So I think if you want to learn TypeScript, then first you need to know, why do we need TypeScript? What problem it is solving? Why I'm saying it is, for example, if I want to learn Node.js, let's say, why do I need Node.js? I have React.js, so why do I need Node.js? And then I'll realize that React.js is only for the front end, for the UI, for actually serving to the client, and Node.js is actually making APIs from the backend. Oh, I can create API on my own. Then let's create API. So I have the purpose, right? I know what Node.js is going to do for me. Then now I'll start building API, a simple API, let's say a API for to-do app, something like that, using Node.js. So we'll start creating project right there. While creating project, we'll learn as well, right away, right? So this is, I think, for some experienced one. If you have some little experience, because while creating building something, you need to know some little background for, all right, for the setup that you need to do. But if you do not have any experience at all, I think you can get some guide. Some people can understand really good by watching some tutorials or some video, or some by asking to the friend. And while watching tutorial or asking to the friend, you can just build that small application right there. So I believe if you build something, then you'll learn quickly. So some new stack, I think. Yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah. Maybe you may have, other may have some different opinion. That is absolutely fine. If you have some different theory, or if you believe in some of your principle, that's fine. Eventually, we want to learn something fast, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's whatever I'm sharing is just my personal opinion. Okay, what I feel and what I believe. So if somebody is having more experience than I have, then he may have different opinion, right? If you are just entering, then you may have different opinion. But at the end, what matters is delivering something to creating some solution, delivering something to this to real world situation, right? We are solving real world situations here, because when you currently you can see that if you provide a chunk of code, a small function in the chat GPT, how smartly it can just replicate the solution there. So we need to be we need to have more sense than that, because I think we can solve the solution because we know what is needed, what is actually this problem. Then if we think from the problem, I think creating solution will become slightly easier, I think. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, anything guys that we can discuss? All right, so let's end this session here. We'll meet next day and continue. Maybe we can discuss at the end or during before the beginning of the session, such kind of thing. And during the session, we want to be mostly focused on the practical things that we are doing. So in the next session, we will yeah, complete those custom hook part, complete the uh, our context as well as writing testing part as well. Then we have something called Redux. If you haven't heard about it, you need to just search in Google right now. Just search for Redux and why Redux in React. You may seeing me all the time searching something in Google, because most of the time we will do the same, right? And but we need to select the resource. We need to select the appropriate resource we want, because sometimes if you can go from the official documentation, that will be the great resource. But sometimes official documentation is not that much good, and some well written blogs which are taken from this official one itself, but they can refactor and exactly write what you want. Then at that time you can take those as well. So yeah, when we have some problem, most of the time we'll search in Stack Overflow. That's the reliable or trusted developer community. You can find the solution about the particular problem that you have as well. All right, yeah, just have a look at Redux and just watch some video as well. That will help you to ask me question as well in the session. Okay, if I know, then I will try to answer. Otherwise, we can discuss as well. And yeah, this is the one which we are going to do after completing this current project. All right, and then we'll go to Next.js. You can just search for Next.js as well. This is what we want to do as well. All right, so yeah, can we end this session for today, everyone?
Thank you, Guru.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'll see you next day. Have a good weekend, everyone. Goodbye. Good night.
Thank you, Gaurav. Since we have spread time now, please fill the feedback form. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. क्यों हो? You will not let